You're very welcome to another episode of the Scaling Your Business podcast. For this episode, we're going to the other side of the Atlantic Ocean, all the way to New York, to be joined by Arjan Raya. Did I pronounce that correct?
Argent Rye, like Argentina without the Tina. And by the way, like for your viewers who are watching or if you're gonna put this on video, I love how you're holding it up. The mic itself, it feels like the Elvis Presley, and we're gonna be talking about marketing, and but you're gonna be like the concert goer right there, like the famous musician.
Yeah, the reason why I did it is because this table I have a tendency to tap a lot, so I hold it so my hand can't tap on the table. Well, let's jump straight into this. CEO at hellowolfie.com.
Yep.
I'd like to dial the clock back a little bit to when you were growing up in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Any favorite standout memories, hobbies of your time growing up, like think teenage years?
Yeah, it was definitely, I mean, the story of my life has been growth hacking, working the room. Now it's obviously working the virtual room, networking your way through. I mean, I remember there was something called back in the day Google Phone Book. And I don't know if you remember, this was over 10 years ago, but Google Phone Book would basically allow you to find, phone numbers. It was like the white pages, right? The yellow pages to find people's, addresses and their phone numbers. So what I did was I literally took two different things. One is Google Phone Book. One is the Forbes 400 list of billionaires. And I was like, I can find their contact information and call them up. And I actually spoke to a couple of them, or the people who work for them, or even a couple of the housemates who were at their house. And they're like, who are you from high school calling, my boss, who's a multi-billionaire, person. And so that's been a story of my life. And that early mindset helped me raise capital for, the last company I did, the current company that we're building, which is Hello Wolfie. And we've just been able to find, networking is a people business. And so if I hadn't started early and I hadn't figured out what to say, what not to say, and how not to say it, or how to say it, and how to present yourself, it would have been a very long MBA. And at 30, I wouldn't have been able to raise millions of dollars in capital to kind of see my dreams and the vision really come to fruition. So thank God that was an early influence on networking and learning from learning from what worked and what didn't work.
What you mentioned networking. You said you've been doing it for a long time now. I'm kind of curious to delve a little bit deeper. I'll share an example of how networking has helped me, and then if you can share one or two examples to encourage those who just don't do it enough to perhaps do more of it.
Sure. Yeah.
For me, it's helped me to do two things. One, build deeper relationships with, for
Mm,
example, guests that have on my podcast. I can go back to them 4 or 5 months later and ask them for referrals, which is essentially a key to open
mm,
another door. So it's allowed me,
mm-hmm.
one, to build deeper relationships with them. If they're on my ideal clients, that's great. But also to open up other doors where I wouldn't necessarily have opened them. I'll give you a quick
Yep.
example. Last week, I was looking to get the hold of one particular sponsorship manager, and I had tried, phone, email, couldn't get hold of this particular person. I saw we had a mutual connection of a previous guest I've kept in contact with. I asked this guest how well he knew her. He knew her very well. He introduced us, and she responded like that to me because of the introduction that he had given. So it's helped me to build deeper relationships and open more doors. For
Yeah.
you, how's it helped you?
Networking has always been about showing up and providing value, or just being in the midst of giants, right? Being a part of their conversation. So, for example, I was at Columbia University. This was about 8 years ago, give or take, 7 years ago. And I was at a marketing conference, and I was, in the just sitting at the round table, with a couple of
Mm.
speakers. That's the other thing. You have to speak. You have to sit with speakers, even if you're not allowed. Go into the speaker lounge anyways. Go into the VIP section anyways, and network, and just sit there and be quiet and add value. And because it's just a trick. It worked for me all the time. So I was sitting there, and one of the guys that came next to me, sat next to me, turned out to be one of my soon to be mentor and a really good friend of Mark Cuban. And he ended up investing in the last company. He ended up introducing me to Mark Cuban, who, obviously, if you don't know who Mark Cuban is, he's an investor. He's a billionaire investor on Shark Tank, very successful tech entrepreneur. And he ended up walking by my booth a year later in California, in San Francisco, and saying, "Oh, you're the kid that Ian was talking about. Show me your product. Show me." And I am literally, there's a photo of me on Instagram, my Instagram page. I'm standing there, shivering, shaking. That Mark Cuban is standing. He's like 8 feet tall. I'm
Yeah.
5'7", and he is actually spending time, like at least 10 minutes with me, and showing as I'm showing him this new software that I built for project managers to be visual with their collaboration efforts. And so little things like that, you never know where you can find people and who you're going to meet, who they're going to introduce you to. I always like to say, if you're going to do anything, whether it's for dating purposes or business purposes or personal whatever, always have centers of conversation. Now, center of conversation could be as simple as what you are doing. So if I'm at a conference, I'm speaking at a conference in December in Austin, actually, with Neil Patel and Damon Johns, another Shark Tank investor. And that itself is a center of conversation. Obviously, I am literally in the center of having a conversation about marketing and raising capital and things of that nature. But if you're in the audience, I used to put on LED shoes, and I would actually have, as you can see on my shirt right now, it has the logo of what I'm representing. Now I've logofied everything on me. My scooter has logos on it, my shirt has it, my hat has it. So then people will ask you, okay, what is it about that what is Hello Wolfie about? Because 99% of the founders who are in that room, they look really nice with their shirt on, with their blazers on, and has no logos, no branding. And the most you're going to get is a Ralph Lauren logo on that. And that they're not building Ralph Lauren, they're building a startup. So just those little centers of conversation matter so much. And just positioning yourself at an event, or even on Zoom calls, speaking up even before you're supposed to speak up, or speaking up first when you're supposed to speak up, it just changes the game, because then people recognize you, especially have your camera up all the time. In fact, we found in our sales calls, when we have our camera on, people are more likely to close because they can have that relationship, the one-on-one relationship with the person, versus just doing a sales call with just the logo or whatever you have on you as an avatar. We consistently see the conversation is better, it's more meaningful, people are willing to open up more, and they end up buying.
I'm wildly impressed by how networking has given you
Yeah.
the ability to tap into these different relationships, and you just said you're sharing a stage with two giants in December as well.
Oh yeah, I'm pitching myself every day all the way up to the conference. I haven't even bought my tickets yet. I'm like, I have to do that, but I've been pinching myself. We were supposed to have it in August. I got postponed because of the current situation in New York, and yeah, it's just such an honor. But the way that worked out is because I'll tell you the story behind that. So
Please.
August of 2019, we were called in to do an audition for a TV show called Meet the Drapers. Now, Meet the Drapers is founded by billionaire Tim Draper, and they had a collaboration, they still do, with Republic, which is an equity crowdfunding campaign. We've done 2 campaigns on there. Now we're running an equity crowdfunding campaign on WeFunder. And the premise behind the show was that, you can come on, pitch the company, pitch your idea, tell the audience a little bit about your background, almost like a Shark Tank approach. And then they'll then say, okay, if you want to invest on when we were like televised across the world, you can go to republic.co/HelloWolfie to invest as low as $100. Now it's wefunder.com/HelloWolfie. So we originally got rejected, and it was a couple of days after that, I was, my dad called me up and said, hey, your mom's been taken to the hospital, you need to come immediately. Few days later, she ended up passing away. But I had an email in my inbox just leading up to that said, hey, we have a couple extra spots, can you fly out to California because we like you, we want you to be on the TV show? And I said yes. We went to the TV show. The TV show had a collaboration, and Republic had a collaboration with an organization called Angels and Entrepreneurs. Now, Angels and Entrepreneurs, they have they have a couple of spokespeople that endorse other deals and ask founders about what their vision is, et cetera. So Neil Patel happened to be one of those endorsers and a founding endorser, I believe. And that relationship led to major, promotions of the 2 Republic campaigns, another promotion for the last WeFunder campaign we did, so our customers could invest in the company and own a piece of it. And that relation then turned into, hey, Arjun, can you speak on how you've turned equity crowdfunding into a part of your business model? And I was like, yeah, absolutely, because the most unique thing I've heard, I haven't heard any other founders say equity crowdfunding, letting your customers invest in the company, giving them a promise to shares as a part of a business model. And the premise is very simple. lifetime value used to be $500, so a lot higher now, but just for numbers sake, if it's $500 and a customer, let's say Rian, you put in $100 because you love us,
Mm.
my lifetime value on Rian is all of a sudden 20% higher. I don't know anything else that a founder can do, a marketing team can do, a sales team can do, maybe except for send flowers like Zappos. That will increase a lifetime value of a customer, a SaaS customer, at 20%. Because now it's a customer that's paying you. Now it's a customer that owns has a promise to shares in the company and wants to root you all the way up to the your major breakthrough down the road. And that's how that happened. And that was 2 years, that was a year and a half in the making, that relationship, just showing up. And despite the rejection, then getting accepted, just showing up.
I do want to chat more about your current business, Hello Wolfie, but I'd like to rewind to 2012, founder at Fuelbright. Some of your interviews and content were published in Yahoo and entrepreneur.com, reading from my screen. The question I have around this is because it was one of your first startups, if not your first, particularly on LinkedIn, it was named your first. Any key lessons that you learned that when you look back, you're glad you learned them before starting your current venture, HelloWolfie.com? And if so, what are they?
Yeah, I was trying to figure out ways to make money and just pay the bills while before moving to New York and after moving to New York. And Fuelbright was essentially my personal project that, for lack of a better term, was kind of like an agency, a freelance gig that where I was able to manage social media, blog content, all the stuff that we're now automating through Hello Wolfie. I was doing manually back then just to pay the bills. And so we had musicians as clients, we had startups as clients, and and one of my clients was a company called Orgain, which is now blown up in a very good way in Whole Foods, the protein company, Andrew Abraham. So it's like little things like that. I just put myself out and I started reaching out to people, and I reached out to actually Andrew himself, and I was like, hey, can I help you in any way, in terms of your marketing? And he ended up sponsoring one of my events as well. And just little things like that. I just reached out, even though I got rejected many times. I just kept reaching out, and that helped me build a relationship with many of these people who end up helping me down the road. So that was on the personal side as well as professional. But then on the business side, managing social, managing content for so many people, eventually that's what led to me starting Hello Wolfie, which is supporting the underdog with smart marketing. As soon as you come into our platform, you just start typing, it automatically completes the sentences for you, gives you the perfect hashtags, the perfect words, and perfect emojis, which we just received a patent by the US government around that capability.
Very cool.
And so one thing led to the other, and like not only did I grow personally as well as spiritually, but then from a business standpoint, I came with an idea that is doing 25,000. We'll probably do 30,000, give or take. No guarantees this month in revenue in $25,000 in US dollars. So we have a business here that's scaling.
Yeah, absolutely. And you just touched on it with mentioning the patent, but I don't want to give the 60-second commercial because you'll do a much better job. So the mic is yours.
The patent is essentially around the ability to map out what we call multiple languages. English is one language, the one that you and I are speaking right now, but the other language is around emojis. Emojis tend to drive significant uplift in engagement and purchase intent according to Adobe's emoji trend report. So now that we know, and it makes sense because we're visual people, we're cavemen at the end of the day. The reason why Pinterest did really well, why Instagram did really well, now TikTok, is because we are visual people. More than text, we want to see pictures, we want to see videos, and emojis are kind of the hybrid of the two in the field of in the context of the text communication. So we essentially said, how do we map the entire language to figure out the correlation of this emoji to this hashtag to this word to that emoji to that emoji to this hashtag? We essentially built a beautiful map which you can see on our website. And we said, okay, we're going to use this to drive the autocomplete capabilities. So like Gmail and a bunch of other companies have autocomplete, which tend to find the next best word based on what you're typing. We're not only doing that in a unique way, but we're also finding the next best emoji based on what you're typing, the next best hashtag, the next best image based on what you've typed in so far. And that itself is like a huge piece of our IP in terms of what accelerates an underdog, a small business owner who doesn't have a degree in what they're trying to promote in, in marketing specifically. And it just gives them the upper hand that, against those unlimited marketing budgets.
So tell me this, when I think of how I'm going to grow my business, every probably quarter, I might miss one quarter a year, but I try to do it every single quarter. I'll draw a quadrant and I'll put KARE,
Hmm.
and K stands for keep, attain, recapture, and expand. And I just write the accounts I want to keep, the accounts I want to retain, the accounts I want to
Yep.
expand, and the accounts I want to keep, attain,
Yep.
recapture, expand. You get the point.
Yep.
I'd like to focus on attain, specifically that section of the quadrant. What is it that over the last 12 to 18 months that you've done to attain net new accounts? Is it paid social? Is it influencers? Is it talks? Is it expos? Is it cold calling? Give me a kind of a broad overview of exactly how you go and
Yeah.
attain new logos.
It's honestly the community that we've been building on Facebook. We have a community where, and this is a little surprising. It's not only surprising that my competitors, which we have a lot of respect for, they have a dashboard that looks very archaic, looks very old, does not have
Mm,
any ounce of intelligence baked into it. Beyond that, they also don't have a community. They don't have a sense of community where you and I can say, hey, Mr. Social media scheduler, or Mrs. Social media scheduler, can you add this feature, because that's how my small business needs, could use that, and et cetera. There's no community where you can have a two-way conversation. So we have a Facebook group called Content Masters, and anyone can join, whether you're a customer or a prospect, or just an entrepreneur online. And we literally ask you every single day to let us know what features you want us to build, what's working for you, what we can upgrade and we can polish. We love critiques. Anyone who criticizes anything or anyone in the group gets kicked out immediately. But critiques are always welcome. Valid, explanations of how we can make something better, how we can improve something.
mm,
Those things are always welcome, and that actually has a direct impact on our roadmap. So the next integration we come up with, we will either come up with the integration ourselves and ask about it, whether it's valid, if it's needed or not, or if the integration is a suggestion, then it gets added automatically to our roadmap, which all of our customers can see in their settings page on their dashboard and see as those integrations are coming about into their memberships. So that has actually been huge, because not
interesting.
only are people referring one another into the group, they're also seeing that we're raising capital in equity crowdfunding and promoting the campaign in the group, because again, those are our customers. We want them to be shareholders, and have promise of shares in the company. And the third thing is paid advertising, but the other one is podcasting. Like this example here, someone's going to hear it. Someone's going to see our interview online, and they're going
Mm-hmm.
to say, "Wow, I'm an underdog. I want to learn about." Hello, Wolfie. I want to learn about Rian, about how he connects other small business owners and helps them reach a new height in their ladder of success. And that's been pretty big. And Clubhouse, lastly, the Clubhouse has been pretty big for us as well. Getting on stages and speaking, dropping value, or gems as they call it, I call it marshmallows, and hosting our own rooms. That's been great from a capital raising perspective. We raised about 100,000 or so, give or take, in the last campaign, purely from Clubhouse.
Wow.
And also it's been a great means of sales for us. People just get into our funnels, and then they upgrade and obviously buy.
I'm going to leave links to your LinkedIn, the hellowolfie.com website. You've mentioned earlier on the WeFunder link
Yep.
as well. I have the exact nice looking one that you put on your LinkedIn. I'll copy and paste that.
Sure.
Um, what are some of the things that you see other SMB owners do when it comes to marketing that you feel is potentially holding them back to where they could be? They could be 2x, 3x growth if they were to kind
Yeah.
of overcome those blind spots.
Yeah, that's a great question. I hear it quite often, and when people say, "Oh, I'm not good at social media. Oh, social media isn't my thing. I tend to do things more old school way." Well, those were the same people in the 1900s who said, "No, I don't think the car is really going to take off. Ford doesn't have a real business. I'm going to continue, raising horses. I'm going to continue building wagons and et cetera, et cetera." Well, fast forward 100 years, you know where those individuals are. Either they refined their training, they learned new skills, or they just went off to the wayside and didn't have any impact on history. So same thing today. When a new tool comes out, like Clubhouse, a new tool, like we're working on something which is very cutting edge called smart speaker marketing. There are about 500 million, give or take, Alexa speakers around the world. We're working with the Alexa team to allow anyone to broadcast directly into their customers and followers' living rooms. Now, me dropping that gem or marshmallow, whatever you call it here on this podcast, should set off ears and alert signals everywhere on whoever's listening to say, okay, I need to be on smart speakers. I need to learn about smart speaker marketing. I want to be the first one to get in on that, because we're baking in e-commerce capabilities. We're baking in live streaming capabilities, the ability to schedule posts well ahead of time using Hello Wolfie, and pinging those speakers with content to remind them, hey, Rian Lanigan is about to go live with a special guest with a 30% off offer that will never be heard of ever again if you don't tune in. Those are the capabilities that we're working on. We also have an augmented reality version where you can literally see all of your marketing content before you and say, oh, I like this is coming out tomorrow. This is coming out tomorrow. I don't like this coming out tomorrow. I'm going to push it over virtual in augmented reality and then tap on this one and send it to post to Instagram immediately. So it's like little things like that. I hope. And then the unfortunate truth is that only 2%, maybe 1% of the person that hears this podcast will actually take action and really change their marketing game. And the rest of the individual will do the same thing that they've been doing again and again. And that's the truth.
When you said the Amazon Alexa device, that's like smart speaker technology.
Yeah.
Smart speaker marketing, maybe.
Yeah.
What you call it? Like, I still can't wrap my head around that. So can you break that down?
So,
what that is?
Yeah, so the way the devices work is very similar to the iPhone. When the iPhone first came out, it was a hardware with a piece of software baked into it, which is the operating system. We call it iOS. Then they came up with this store called the App Store, the Apple App Store, and they were like, okay, we're going to allow developers to build on top of this ecosystem, so more people download apps, and everything that you used to get on a CD was turned into an app, right? You didn't install software, you installed apps. So the Amazon App Store has the same approach. They have skills, which is one thing, and they have apps, which are essentially Android apps modified for the Fire TV or the Echo Show. These are different kinds of products on the Alexa platform. And it costs a lot of money to build an app or a skill that is comparable to a Netflix or Hulu that broadcast, gives you a whole library of content, gives you analytics, a whole 9 years. It's very expensive. You can build skills and apps for a few $1,000s, but if you legitimately want to compete with a streaming platform like that and have your own, like you could have your own with all your marketing skills and small business skills or tips and tricks, it'll cost you a lot of money. So we've already done that. We spent 50 grand, 100 grand to do this, to allow you to, all you have to do is go into Hello Wolfie and say, this is my title, this is my description, this is my background, logo, color, the whole 9 yards. Go and then hit submit, and we automatically generate an app or a skill for you. And then you can then use Hello Wolfie to schedule to the app or skill, plus Facebook, plus Twitter, plus LinkedIn, the whole 9 yards. And you just have to tell your audience to, hey, go ahead and download the Rian Small Business Hacks app, and voila, in 2 seconds you'll be on their screen with links, with the ability to hold up your phone and call Rian if you have a sales team. You could be like, hey, this is a quick tip from Arjun or Mark Cuban, but if you want to learn more, hold up your phone, give us a quick call while we're here live, or give us a quick call to my sales team, and we'll get you into the course that we're offering for $99, originally $9,000, whatever you want to call it. But it's e-commerce, it's infomercial, but for the underdog. You don't have to beg and borrow QVC or Shopping Network, Home Shopping Network, or any of these TV channels that are Goliaths to put your content on. You put your products on, put your services on. You could do it with your 100 followers, your 100 customers. That's all you need for most small businesses.
Mm. I imagine a lot of people have a device. I'm not going to say it because you can probably see it over there in the corner. If I say it, it'll wake up. And also a Fire TV as well in the house. I know all my friends and family do.
Yeah, I have 11.
11. Wow. I think that's around. I haven't heard people who have had 11 before. You must just have one in every single room of the house.
I actually some of them have 2 or 3, but we do a lot of testing, so it helps. Yeah.
Gotcha. We're coming near the end. I got a couple more questions for you. You have an affiliate program.
We do.
I've not had the opportunity to ask someone who has had an affiliate program. One, why do they have an affiliate program? And two, how has it helped them grow?
Yeah, it's a great question. We do believe that our biggest, ambassadors or biggest supporters and lovers of the platform are our own customers, right? Also the investors, but more specifically the people who use the software day in and day out. And we turn those into investors through equity crowdfunding in many cases. So typically what we say in our sales pitches is, hey, Rian, hey, Bob, hey, Sarah, thanks so much for taking a look at the demo and on how our platform can help you really take your business to the next level with smart marketing. make sure you join the software program for, and whatever membership you pick, that's great. Make sure you join the affiliate program, because there's a potential that you might know at least one or two other people that may benefit from this. So why don't you share the love and help them out with their underdog business? And third, invest in the company as low as $100, because as we scale, ideally you would appreciate and you would grow with us as well. No guarantees, but that's a way of us saying thank you for being part of the company early on, and then as we scale, we can say thanks from a financial standpoint. But the part on the affiliate side, we say, is then if you become an affiliate, you have the opportunity to make some of it back or all of it back, or then even more than what you invested in the investment itself or in the cost of the subscription. So it's a win-win-win situation. We get an ambassador, we get a potential investor, we get a customer, and the lifetime value, as I mentioned earlier in the show, goes through the roof. And that's why we have an affiliate program.
Interesting. Is there a tool out there that you can't live without?
Is there a tool?
Yeah, like HubSpot CRM, Loom video
Yeah.
recording.
I would say the Facebook app, because if you
Facebook app.
join our Facebook community, the Facebook group Content Masters, and I get this every single day, multiple times a day, and people are saying, how do you respond to everyone in video? Because if a customer says, hey, this happened to me, I need help, fixing it, or this is an amazing, recommendation for, for your roadmap, can you add it to a roadmap? Or I'm so unhappy, this happened to me, can you, I don't know what to do. I will actually go in video formats, 20 seconds. The Facebook app allows you to do 20-second videos in the comments section.
Mm.
I will literally respond to everyone. In fact, not only the customers and the prospects in our Facebook group, I will actually go in our ads. If you ever get an ad served by us, you will see that I have done a video response or a video, suggestion or something or the other on the ad itself. And now, if you take a look at our competitors' ads, there is literally no one responding to any of the questions, any of the feedback, any of the comments. We just we're just differentiated. We're just a categorically different company.
I get that. And so second last question for you kind of ties in. Potentially your answer could be your Facebook group, but how do you spot trends? Is it from listening to your prospects and clients in that Facebook group?
Honestly, it's a lot of my imagination. I mean, the way we built this platform, we just kept thinking about where the future of digital marketing is going, and then making it super, super affordable for the underdog. We're, like I mentioned, we have a couple of products in our special projects division in the works. One is the augmented reality. Where are we going with augmented reality? Well, I don't see any of our competitors thinking about that. They know, HoloLens exists. They know, the Oculus exists, but have you heard of a SaaS company and a marketing platform or an email provider, any of those companies coming with a futuristic, complete moonshot capability in virtual reality or augmented reality? And the answer is no. You do see this in automobiles industries from time to time, but then those concept cars at CES, they completely never make it to the assembly line, because it's like, look what we can think of, but look what we cannot make is the premise behind that. And we're about to ship something very cool that'll allow you to basically run the whole marketing campaign in augmented reality. We have another one that's coming out, which is kind of like a Zelda, or if you ever played RuneScape back in the day online. We have a virtualized version, a 3D version of the entire platform. So you can actually drive from the settings page, you can drive to the single post page, you can drive to the campaign editor, you can drive to the library, which is legit a library. It's just going to be a fun way for all of our underdogs who work from home to use our platforms. Yeah, we're weird.
Again, no, creative. Again, I will leave links to all the three things I've mentioned: the WeFunder campaign, your personal LinkedIn page, and your website as well below. But to wrap this up, Arjun, the final question of this podcast is: if you were the decision maker in adding a mandatory subject to the high school curriculum, what would it be and why?
Networking and being able to sell your idea and yourself in a meaningful way. One of the books that I love is by Grant Cardone, the Closer's Survival Guide. I also love Russell Brunson's Traffic Secrets and Expert Secrets. Those three books and many others, but those specifically completely rewired my brain on how to sell, how to build funnels.
Mm.
And those funnels, by the way, could be in real life. It doesn't have to be a website. How you walk into a room and how you position yourself and then upsell yourself and then cross promote and or downsell and then you can have a funnel in real life. It's just about mindset.
Arjun, CEO of Hello Wolfie. It's been an absolute pleasure spending the last 35 minutes with you. Uh, all links will be below, whether you're watching, listening to this. It, yeah, it's just been a pleasure, and I wish you continued success. Kick ass at the talk in December. But for today, we'll leave it there.